Hey guys, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
In this video, me and Gary will discuss with you the most common relationship problem with a Filipina. We're going to address the misunderstanding and jealousy.
Yeah, we're just going to focus on those two today because they'll take up the whole video.
That's the biggest.
The next video we'll pick two more, but they are big issues, so
Yeah.
that's what we're going to discuss today.
Alright, so if you're interested, let's get started. Alright, so first one is misunderstanding or miscommunication. Well, it is normal because Filipina, English is not our first language, so of course we could have a problem through communicating with a foreigner. Do you agree?
Well, language is just one of the issues. I mean, obviously the biggest challenge is the difference in the culture. You know, a foreigner comes over here to meet a Filipina. They often don't quite understand how they think. They think differently.
Yep.
And they interpret things differently. And when you say something, your Filipina girlfriend will often take it a different way from what you meant. That's extremely common. You think you're being clear, you think you're saying something that anybody would understand, but they'll somehow interpret it differently in their minds.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that they don't understand, they just think differently.
Yep.
And the way we say things as well is, as you said, this is a language issue. Sometimes we'll say things in a certain way and the Filipina may not quite understand you. And so you might get it, and she might not tell you she doesn't understand you. So then there's a misunderstanding, right?
Yep. Sometimes you don't mean to say that. And sometimes, we'll take it in a different way. And sometimes we had arguments because of the misunderstanding. I think this is number one. As we still struggle in this sometimes. Do you agree?
Of course.
Yeah,
we do, definitely. And again, we still, although you've changed a lot, so, after a few years, of course, we think a lot closer. But still, that's still the biggest cause of any disputes we have is through miscommunication. You don't quite understand what I mean, or my point.
Sometimes I get offended.
Well, that's extremely common. People get offended when the person is not actually being offensive.
Yes.
And and it's kind of a surprise. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you foreigners, expats that are in relationships relate to that, where you said something and you get a reaction, and for the life of you, you have no idea why they're reacting the way they are.
Yeah.
And again, it's how they have interpreted your message in their brain, and it's not always what you meant to relay to them.
All right, so that's the first one.
That's a big one.
Yes, the very big one. Very big one.
Just to finish on that, this is where, we've often talked about how important patience is. You've really got to be patient when communicating with your new girlfriend. Of course,
Filipina, yeah.
after time, as you get closer, so these issues, you naturally begin to understand each other more. But I think we're really addressing people that are newer in their relationship, the problems that they face.
Yeah, I agree. So number two. What's that? Number two is
Two is between 2 and 3, I think.
jealousy.
We talk about jealousy so much because it is a big issue. Filipinos are very, very jealous, and you are Filipino, and you can understand and get in the mind easier than I can. But they get jealous. I mean, let's just talk about one of the incidents. You're actually pretty good. You don't have much jealousy, but you did have. You remember that time we were in that restaurant? Actually, it was. Why don't you tell the story? I mean. And before you tell the story, I do want to state in this case I am completely innocent. I mean, really, I would say if I wasn't, but I am completely innocent. But go ahead.
So a lot of foreigners get in trouble because of jealousy with the Filipina. So that was the first one. I think that was the biggest.
It was a shock, by the way. It was out of the blue. It's like, what's up? What's going on here?
So we were in
let's make a point. This was more than 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was before we get closer to
Probably.
God. So that time,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't feel secure in our relationship that time yet.
I feel secure.
You are, but I don't. And it's like a bar restaurant.
Yeah.
So sometimes their waitress, they dress up, like mini skirt and, So there's one of the waitress. She sit on a high chair with a skirt, and then probably
Sure.
that's part of her job. Like maybe to please the foreigners' eyes.
Well, I'm not going to say
Well,
that.
that's
But maybe we
their
should name,
business.
Maybe we should have named the restaurant, but I don't think I don't think it's like that.
Yeah, but they will get more customer, of course, if they're gonna hire you. But yeah, I thought Gary was staring at me.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I get really crazy. I go crazy that night, and I realize now it's normal for people maybe to look, not like maybe
Okay.
when you're drooling, like maybe that's a big deal. But if you just glance, I think it's normal.
Okay, here's the thing. First of all, on that incident, and I'm telling this because I know that you guys watching understand this and have probably experienced it more than once. But a lot of us men, and actually not just men, everybody, we tend to look around. I mean, there's people that just look and observe everything that's going on all the time. And I'm one of those people when we walk through the shopping mall. I'm always looking at people. I just look, and I'm not looking or targeting a specific type of person like sexy girls or anything. I look at everyone. I look at no matter what, old people, young people, lady boys. So just observing, right?
Yeah.
That's what people do. And so when I'm sitting in a restaurant, I'm often looking around, and I might be looking in this direction or that direction, and obviously in this situation, maybe my head was in that direction, and so you thought, rather than me just observing and looking around, you think I'm targeting between her legs or something.
Because I'll probably
That's
put
what you're
the beep
thinking.
on the name of the restaurant. I don't want to name it, so I'll probably cover the sounds. I don't want to mention the restaurant, so I'll put beep like to cover the name. I don't want to mention it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I was wrong, and now I realize that foreigners, when they come in a other country, they find it curious to look at people, Philippine people, like either it's attractive or not attractive women. They're just curious, So now I understand that. But that was the first time, and I think that was the last time I had a.
No, you haven't had an issue.
Yeah,
So that was
so
out of the blue either, because you weren't having an issue like that before that time. It's just that came out of nowhere.
I think also it depends on my mood. Sometimes when I had my period, I feel so insecure about myself. And most Filipina, they get really jealous. It's because they don't have that much confidence about themselves. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Actually.
I think jealousy comes from insecurity and, they don't feel good about themselves. That's usually the case, right?
Yeah. And no, it is. And may I add one more thing about, in defense of men that get accused of this stuff, of looking and whatever. Most intelligent men, smart men, if they're with their girl and there is a particularly sexy girl walking around, they actually make an extra effort not to look. Because they know that the girls, we know, we're not stupid. We know that you're zooming in the corner of your eyes, looking anywhere you can. So you're looking at that girl. We know that. We're aware of that, right? And so they'll make a conscious effort not to look. What you should be more concerned about is, how are these men acting when you're not around? Are they looking at girls and oh, my girl's not here now? And then because now some of them will. Some men will see a sexy girl and drool and fantasize, right, if you're not around. But when you're with your girlfriend, you're going to make that much more of an effort not to be caught looking. But even that's where you get caught. Even a glance in a direction, you're looking at that girl,
No, you just give me an idea to follow you when you're out by yourself.
Well, I wouldn't say that, honey. Also, I'd like to think I'm reasonably intelligent.
I'm kidding.
I wouldn't say that if I wasn't confident in myself. First of all, like I said, I have my relationship with God as well. So in the past, of course, it's natural men see a sexy girl. You look and maybe if you don't have, a moral standard as such, just your own, maybe you will drool a little bit. But I make when I'm on my effort, through my obedience to God, to not look at a girl and drool and fantasize. Because, that's just wrong, I think, as we know.
Yeah.
So, and of course, out of respect for you too, but, my moral standard being grounded in Christ is one of the biggest reasons.
From the past, like,
Have I
worst experience about jealousy with other Filipina you have
Terrible.
relationship with?
Terrible. I mean, we could do an hour-long video talking about situations, but I'll just share one really quick because it was a significant moment in a relationship, and you're aware of my past relationships. So this one was with again, I won't name names because then they might want. But I was in a relationship. And it was a very, very good relationship. And for 6 months, it was like...
Wonderful.
It was a perfect relationship. It really was. Now, this is a time where I used to commute back and forth to China. And I didn't realize how suspicious this girl always was. And one time, I won't go to the whole story because it takes too long. But anyway, we were getting ready to go on a trip and we're flying out the next day, I think. We had flights and I was showing some photos of my trip in China. And what I failed to do, my mistake, this is before I was really a Christian.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had gone to a couple of bars with a friends where there's a lot of girls, like you described earlier, that dress sexy, right, and all that. And their job is to, be entertaining, Anyway, someone took a picture of me holding a waitress and picking her up in my arms.
I understand why she...
Okay, but this is why I'm not so smart. On my phone back then, the phone I had, I didn't realize that when you delete the picture, that it's still saved, I know now, saved in the deleted pictures for 30 days or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I had no clue. I thought I thought I deleted this picture because I knew that wouldn't go down well. Anyway, so bottom line is, she was looking at the picture, and this picture just, when we're both looking at it together, I said, oh look, it just popped up. I don't even know how it popped up, and I knew this was going to be hell. She reacted in a psycho way. She went nuts. She ended up getting scissors, cutting up every picture we ever had together, screaming, yelling. It was unbelievable.
That was a bad example because you were a different person back then, and I understand why she acted that way.
It was, even though it's not acceptable picture, but I didn't have sex with that person. I wasn't even. It was just a picture,
I know, but Filipina, honey, Filipina.
It was unacceptable. I get it, but it wasn't. But of course, they're going to assume the worst.
Yeah, of course.
When all it was a.
And you mentioned you're just in relationship with her for 6 months. Of course, you don't trust that.
We just got engaged as well.
Yeah, so you knew in a relationship still.
Anyway, that was the beginning of the end because from that point on, the trust was gone. She never tried. Every time I went away on a trip,
you should go crazy.
I could tell so many stories with that.
Yeah, but Filipina can be so jealous, even just talking about your past. Do you agree? Like some Filipina, they won't talk about their partner's ex from the past, because that will make their blood pressure go up, right? So Filipina, well, you're glad that you could actually, open discussing this with me. But when it comes to other Filipina, they will go crazy. They will get jealous just mentioning about your past, about your ex. They will go crazy and get jealous. And also, you have to remember that if you have Facebook, if you have pictures with your ex, you have to delete that because even if it's decades, ago, the pictures, they will still get jealous.
Yeah,
do you agree?
No, I agree. That's how they think. Now, I don't get this part because you have an issue with that too. No, you do. You don't. I had some pictures of my ex-wife on the phone, and you you were uncomfortable with that.
Well, only because we have kids, and the kids usually go.
Oh, come on! It's more than that. You just didn't like it. You don't want to see it. You know it happened, but you don't want to see pictures of it.
I don't think if you would feel the same way with us too. If we had a picture, like, you know.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go. I'm not obsessed with looking at all your past
Well,
pictures. If you've got memories, you know, of your past, right? I don't think we should necessarily feel like we have to delete that when we get into a new relationship, because it's a part of who you are and where you come from, and we like to have, good or bad, it's good to have memories, and you know. I don't know. I'm understanding, because I understand if you're not comfortable seeing a picture of me and someone before I met you, that, okay, if you don't like it, I'll delete it. I understand how you feel. But from my perspective, it's like I don't see the issue.
Yeah.
But I understand from, not just your Filipinas, most Filipinos, they don't want to see it. It's like, you know.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, like you said, if they see a picture of someone on Facebook, before you even met this person, they're going to attack you. You know, it's like you've done something wrong. But wait a minute, this was before I even met you.
Yeah, that's the Filipinos mindset. Yeah. So, also another thing is making friends. You know, if you're having a friends relationship with your ex, they will get jealous. Do you agree, Filipina? That's a big deal for them. Like you're friends with your ex, and if they found out, they will get jealous, right? It's not. It's not acceptable for them. Do you agree?
I agree. I agree that it's not acceptable to them, but that's where, going to your first point about communication, I think is important. Although, okay, can I give you another example then? So, and this wasn't you, this was a previous different relationship, because I'd had issues with the one I was referring to a minute ago. Okay. I had a lot of experiences with that. One of being the fact that I was friends with my ex-girlfriend in China. And anyway, there was a whole bunch of issues with that. And so on the next relationship I got into, I made a point before, I think within 3 days, I made a point, if we're going to start going out and dating, I want to let you know I have a friend in China, ex-girl, but we're very good friends. There's nothing more. We don't
She's
feel
married, she have children.
We don't feel that way about each other anymore. We're just friends. And I don't want to give up that friendship, you know, because I care about that person as a friend, and she cares about me as a friend. It's like, why should you, you know? So if you make it clear at the beginning, but even though I did that, it's still, after a few weeks, months, it's like they say, oh, no, it's okay. And then you find out that it's not okay.
It's not okay.
Yeah,
And then the next relationship, it happened again, right?
Yeah, it's happened a couple of times. Now with you, thankfully, but you know, how often do I talk now? It's only once every 6 months or so. And we'll call and just say hi. And you've talked to her, you know. I have no physical attraction to her anymore, you know, it's just a friendship. It's someone that was very, very helpful to me and good to me, and helped me in many ways. And you know, as you said, they're married, kids, happy life. It's you know.
But in some Filipina, they have a problem with that. But to me, I think I'm just open-minded, and I feel secured in a relationship. That's why it doesn't bother me. Even you know, if you go, I don't, you know, I just trust you, and
Let's finish on one more point. And again, I'm jealous, as we're doing a video, pretty much Misunderstandings and Jealousy. You know, it was, how many times has this happened? You've got Jill was telling her story the other day about
my cousin.
I mean, this is how simple, easily an argument can start over nothing. But tell them, it's just in a grocery store, right?
The grocery store, so there's, you know, a line. I don't know how long the line was, but you know, her boyfriend just glanced, probably other women that wearing.
There was a sexy girl in line.
From like the gym, just went out from gym. Yeah.
According to Jill, there was a sexy person in line. Eric's like, where? But anyway, she thought so.
She thought that her boyfriend was staring at the sexy women. Like she said, I don't know if that's true. There's 4 times. 4 times or 5 times. She's counting. called me that, talking about it, and her boyfriend also shared with you about the experience, but she went crazy on that one, yeah. She walked
And
out.
I feel so sad for poor Eric on that one because, again, he's smart enough to know that he's not going to stand there drooling and staring at a
Yes,
woman in line with
he
chairs
knows.
standing next door.
Yeah, he knows that it's jealous.
Like I do, he's some ways person, always observant. You're standing in line, you don't just stare in one spot. As you tend to look around, as soon as your head goes in that direction, oh, one, oh, two. It's crazy.
And I advised her. I said next time bring a paper spray or a towel. Just put towel on his over his eye. That was fine. But for me, it sounds ridiculous. But I also understand why they act that way because they haven't built that trust in the relationship yet. So I said to her, just stay strong and you will overcome that. So yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't matter how much trust you built. Some Filipinos never change on that. So
Yeah.
thankfully you're not like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't deal with that very well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's pretty much it on the misunderstandings and jealousy. And
Yep.
I think just be aware that if you're going to get into a relationship with a Filipino, that's something you've got to be sensitive to. Understand. I think I don't know if women in the West are that bad, but jealousy maybe a little bit, but not like the Filipinos.
Like the
They're a whole new category of jealousy. But so be aware.
Yeah, be aware and build up her confidence about herself.
So that's two issues we've talked about today that can be common problems in your relationship, the misunderstandings and jealousy. So hopefully you find that information and things we talked about today helpful.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and we'll see you guys in our next video. Bye!